The first time I saw her that week, she wasn't supposed to be there. Not in that place, not with him. But there she was, standing by the pool in a white sundress that moved with the wind, laughing, a laugh I knew by heart. I froze mid-step, the drink in my hand trembling, watching as the man beside her brushed a strand of hair from her face. She didn't flinch. She didn't look guilty. She looked happy. And that was what broke me. It took a moment for the noise around me to come back, the murmur of tourists, the splash of water, the hum of music spilling from the bar. I felt detached, like I'd slipped out of my own body and was watching someone else's life collapse from afar. My wife, Emma, had told me she was on a girl's getaway to clear her head. She'd been distant for weeks, soft lies wrapped in affectionate tones, new secrets hidden in plain sight. I'd felt something shifting, like a door slowly closing. Still, I didn't expect to see her here, 3,000 miles from home, at the exact same resort where I'd come to clear my own mind. Only I wasn't alone either. Next to me stood a woman with dark hair pulled into a loose bun and tired eyes that had seen their share of disappointment. Her name was Clara, and she was the wife of the man standing beside Emma. We'd met less than an hour ago at the check-in desk, both realizing, after a few exchanged words, that our spouses were suspiciously unavailable for the week. It took one look at her phone screen, one photo of her husband's tattoo, for our stomachs to drop in unison. They were here together. So, we made a silent decision. We didn't confront them right away. We watched. We waited. Now, standing at the edge of the pool deck, watching my wife lean into another man's touch, the decision felt like both torture and power. Clara's nails dug lightly into her palm as she whispered, "That's him. I'd know that shirt anywhere." Her voice trembled but her gaze stayed sharp. I couldn't speak. I just nodded, forcing myself to stay still, though my mind screamed to storm over there, to demand an explanation, to make it all stop. Instead, I followed Clara's lead. We slipped away quietly, hiding behind our calm like people planning something dangerous. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the hotel room made my chest tighten. The air smelled of salt and rain, and the sound of the waves outside only deepened the ache inside me. I replayed every moment from the past few months, the late-night work calls, the sudden obsession with fitness, the way she'd started locking her phone. I'd asked her once, half joking, if she was seeing someone. She'd smiled and kissed my cheek. "Don't be silly," she'd said. Now her lies had a face. Clara knocked on my door at dawn. Her expression was calm, too calm. She'd been up all night too. "They're having breakfast together," she said softly. "Same table as last night. Do you want to see?" Every part of me screamed no. But I followed her anyway. From the balcony above the hotel restaurant, we watched them sit side by side, laughing, their hands brushing like they'd done it 1,000 times. He poured her coffee the way I used to. She smiled the way she used to smile at me, soft, private, almost shy. Seeing it, I understood something painful. She hadn't just cheated, she'd transferred her tenderness to someone else. "They look like they belong together," Clara said quietly, her eyes filling but never breaking. I swallowed hard. Maybe they do. The words hurt to say, but there was truth in them. Love doesn't just vanish, it mutates, finds new hosts. Still, watching it happen in real time was unbearable. We spent the next few days circling them like ghosts. They had no idea we were there. Sometimes we saw them walking hand in hand along the beach, their heads tilted toward each other, sharing stories they never told us. Other times they'd vanish for hours, returning sunburned and glowing, like a couple freshly in love. It was Clara who finally snapped. "I can't keep watching this," she said on the third night, pacing my room. "He's wearing the same watch I gave him for our anniversary. Do you know how sick that feels?" I nodded, understanding too well. "Then let's end it," I said. We didn't plan revenge exactly. What we wanted was truth, something undeniable, something that would make them confront what they'd done. So, the next morning, we sat at the resort's seaside cafe, in plain view. I wore sunglasses, pretending to read a newspaper. Clara ordered 2 drinks and waited. It didn't take long. Emma and her lover, Clara's husband, Daniel, walked in hand. She wore a sundress I'd bought her on our last vacation, and that detail twisted the knife even deeper. They didn't see us at first. They looked light, unburdened, as if they'd left guilt behind entirely. Then Daniel's gaze flickered in our direction. His body went rigid. Emma followed his stare, and froze. For a moment, no one moved. For people caught in a silent storm. The air between us thickened until it was almost physical. "Hi, honey," I said finally, my voice steady in a way that surprised even me. Emma's lips parted, but no sound came. Her hand slipped from his, guilt bleeding across her face in waves. "Mark, what are you doing here?" "Vacation," I said simply. "Funny coincidence, huh?" Clara stood beside me, her voice sharper. "Seems our partners had the same idea." Daniel muttered something under his breath, his face pale. "Clara, this isn't." "Don't," she cut in. "I've heard every lie already." The silence that followed felt like the world had stopped spinning. Emma tried to speak again, but all she managed was, "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." I laughed softly, bitterly. "You mean you didn't mean to get caught?" Her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't trust them. "Not anymore. It just happened," she said. "I didn't plan it." "That's what makes it worse," I replied quietly. Clara turned and walked away first, her shoulders shaking, and Daniel followed her, calling her name. That left me and Emma standing in the middle of the cafe, surrounded by people pretending not to stare. "Mark, please," she whispered, reaching for me. "I can explain." I stepped back. "Don't," I said. "If you explain it, I'll have to believe it's real. I can't do that right now." Her face crumpled. "I still love you." "Then why wasn't that enough?" I asked. She didn't answer. Maybe she couldn't. That night, I walked along the beach alone. The ocean stretched endless and dark, swallowing every sound except the hiss of waves. I thought about how love fades, not in explosions, but in quiet absences, in unspoken choices, in secrets whispered on someone else's pillow. Behind me, laughter echoed from the resort, the same laughter that used to belong to us. In the end, I didn't confront her again. I packed my things, left my wedding ring on the nightstand, and caught the earliest flight home. Before boarding, I got a message from Clara. "Thank you for standing there with me." It made it easier to breathe. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. Maybe one day it won't hurt to remember. As the plane lifted off, I looked down at the resort shrinking beneath the clouds, where two people had traded love for secrecy, and where two others finally learned the truth they'd been too afraid to see.